shout out to subscriber and commenter Uvihas because he pointed out something very interesting. I did a video talking about Moria being able to read poneglyphs, and I did a video talking about how he could have had this ability momentarily, seeing as how he absorbed Robin's shadow on Thriller Bark. The two are meant to marry with one another because I think in taking Robin's shadow, that was a hint that he could presumably read poneglyphs the entire time, because we find out in chapter 1158 that there was a guy who fought Kaido in Ringo named Kazuki Moria, and an empty grave was placed in Ringo in his honor. So it's been highly speculated, seeing as how a battle took place between Gecko Moria and Kaido in Ringo, that Kazuki Moria could be Gecko Moria. And based on what we know about the Kazuki clan, all of them can read poneglyphs. Now, it's uncertain if Moria can read poneglyphs, but I'm willing to bet that he can, because it would certainly make him very dangerous, which is what that video was about and why he's given so much weird special attention at the end of Marineford, and which is why he was probably marked for death, because of course the government knows about Kazuki Oden, seeing as how he was the key for Roger in order to become Pirate King. So you can't let people from this clan out of your sight. That's why Moria is a danger. But the funny part about him, presumably in the future, being Buggy's Poneglyph Man, is that he's very similar to Nico Robin in terms of moveset, because both of their Paramecia type Devil Fruits and the way that they use them basically do the same thing in a different way. Because with Robin, she has the power of the flower fruit, and using that fruit, she has the ability to make clone copies of her own limbs and clone copies of herself. This is used to basically do a bunch of wrestling moves on her opponents, in which she breaks people's backs and causes distractions by making clones of herself. Moria does something similar, because in using the shadow fruit, even though he can treat shadows as if they were matter and he can remove shadows from other people, what he does most of the time is use his own shadow, which he named Doppelman, of which he uses in a variety of ways. So both Robin and Moria are using aspects of themselves to fight, basically. Because when Moria fights, he turns Doppelman into a swarm of bats, or he might turn Doppelman to a big gecko-shaped spear. So, in that way, I say both Moria and Robin are very similar. Another very funny thing that Robin does more now than she did in the past is that she will often cause a distraction with a full-body clone of herself to make someone think that they're attacking her, but they're actually attacking a clone. This is a trick I think she borrowed from Moria, because Moria does this all throughout the Thriller Bark arc. And the best time you get to see this on display is when he's actually fighting Robin herself, because Robin, tired of his shenanigans, tries to break his back while he's piloting oars, but he swaps places with Doppelman at the last second, as that's an ability of the shadow fruit. He can swap places with his shadow as a weird form of teleportation, I guess you could say. So yeah, it's funny that he does this against her, and she does something similar all throughout the post-time skip. Anyway, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede Waxing.